Hi everyone. Today we are going to do Raj's weekly rant. So today we're going to talk about the dreaded R word. Okay? What is the R word? Which is recession. Yes. So we are definitely heading into a recession. I think the US is already in a recession, but what they're trying to do is they're trying to smoothen the downfall, right? Smoothen, flatten the curve. Same thing that they're trying to do with COVID. That's what they're trying to do. So there's lots of indicators, and obviously stock markets are leading indicators. We already saw that crash earlier in the year, and we just haven't seen it in the other parts of the economy yet. But it makes sense, right? Like just step back and think about an individual family. If you see, since COVID in March, the prices of food has skyrocketed, especially, right? Yes, gas prices have fallen down, but the prices of food have gone up, and most prices are starting to come up, right? But your wages have been stagnant, right? And this has been a problem over the last few years in the advanced economies as well. Wages have generally been stagnant, but inflation has been, about 2%. But, there are certain items, food products that's been, skyrocketing, like meat, for example, has risen, 20 to 30% in the last 2 years. And rent has gone up significantly, mortgages haven't, property taxes, things have been going up higher than your wage increase. So already you can see there's going to be a gap, right, from your earnings to your expenses. So if your earnings are here, the expenses are starting to come up, but your earnings are not moving as high as your expenses. And then throw in the fact if you have kids, there's different, medical emergencies, things like that. So yes, so what happens is the system that we have is most people are in debt, right? And that's just the way it is, right? And Canadians are no different, and we have some of the highest debt to income ratios in the world. But thanks to COVID, there is some glimmer of hope. There was an article that states that Canadians have actually paid down their debt during this pandemic, which is good to see. We had a debt to income ratio of 175%. Okay, so that means for every dollar that a Canadian made, the Canadian average household had $1.75 worth of debt. But thanks to COVID, it actually now has gone down to 1.53. But we're still one of the highest debted nation in the world. Okay, and it's in part of the system, right, that is here. So what system do you ask? Well, in order to prevent a full-on stock market crash, the US Federal Reserve came in and supported the markets by printing more money and creating government stimulus, right? Using printing money, creating government stimulus. So governments, borrowed money from the Fed and then created stimulus programs to give it to taxpayers. But then the money that the Fed prints and gives to the government is not free. Okay, so that money the government has to pay back with interest. Okay, so that's one. So eventually what the government will do is they will increase taxes in some way, form, property tax. So all this money that's being pumped into the economy will eventually get taxed, right, and recovered by the government. Okay, and then what happens is if you have a lot of money circulating in the system, there's going to be too much supply of money, right? So the Fed is printing trillions of dollars. So there's going to be lots of supply. So what happens then is that's going to create pressure on prices to go up, okay? So there it is again. So that means inflation will start going up, okay? So the Fed has numerous tools to fight in a recession, okay? And one such tool is interest rates. During the 2008 recession, the Fed lowered their overnight interest rates down to up to 0%, okay? So it used to be, I think, 3%. So they gradually brought it down to 0%. And then they tried to increase it to up to 1%. And from 2009 till now, and then now we're back to zero. Before the recession even happened, before COVID happened, we were at historically low interest rate. Okay, so what does this mean to you? This means that borrowing money is cheap at the moment, okay, because the interest rates are low. Businesses can borrow money, individuals can borrow money. So the Fed did that to stimulate the economy, right, because of the 2008 crash. So they did that to do this. So which means businesses borrow money, people got into more debt because of the cheap interest rates. But understand that cheap interest rates will not be here forever, right? Because interest rates are typically, US interest rates are usually 3 to 4% prime, right? So understand that, right? Eventually we will get back there. Okay. So what did this do is this made, housing more affordable because the interest rates were low, right? But then what happened now is the housing prices have skyrocketed, right? So basically, there's a housing bubble, is what I'm trying to say. Housing credit crunch, credit bubble, okay? That is happening, okay? And the only thing that has prevented it from happening sooner now is these government stimulus payments, right? So once these payments run out, and unfortunately people will lose jobs, more job losses may come, then that is when you will see the true impact of COVID and the recession. And once you get into a recession cycle, what usually happens is if people lose jobs, people will spend less, right? So when households spend less, businesses will produce less, okay? So do you see what's happening? If people spend less, businesses produce less, then what happens is layoffs. Those businesses don't need more people, right, to make their products. So then layoffs will happen, and then that adds to more unemployment, right? Do you see that cycle? And then more people will spend less because they got laid off. And then this keeps feeding into the unemployment cycle, okay? And currently the US unemployment rate is higher than what it was in 2008. I think 2 times higher than the peak 2008 level. So please keep in mind of what's going on around you, and please be safe and be healthy and be ready for this recession. So how can you be ready for this recession? There's things you can do, right, to protect your investments. You can either go to cash or you can hedge, get some puts and buy some gold. Again, please do your due diligence, right? This is not meant as investment advice. This is educational purposes only, right? So certain things go up during recessions, right? So, your utility companies will go up, but obviously buy it on an ugly down day, right? You pick these companies up on ugly down days. Utility companies like Enbridge, Hydro One, right? They will weather the recession, right? Because you need power, you need gas, right? Gold is good, like gold bars or gold ETFs, because gold is usually a flight to safety, right? So usually those are good. Some are even saying cryptocurrencies are good. So again, that's the verdict is out there. I am neutral to slightly bullish with cryptocurrency. So you can add some Bitcoin in there. But again, you need to have your risk management in place, right? So that is the system we're in. And basically, there is going to be another lockdown again, right? Because the COVID cases are rising. So I'm not sure what the government has planned in terms of any further relief measures in Canada. I'm not sure, right? I don't know what they're going to do with mortgages and things like that if there's another lockdown and then people have to stay back in again. And yeah, so it's a very, very, tough environment, but, you just have to have a positive outlook. You have to understand in any tough environments, there's opportunities, right? So there's opportunities for you to grow, to learn new things, and life is full of opportunities, right? That's life, right? Whenever there's setbacks, this usually means it's a stepping stone to success. So you just have to, be grateful that you have, great health, and yeah, and you've heard it here first. Housing markets are going to come down, right? Because it's just the nature of the beast. It's been going up rapidly, and there is a reset, right? So this will have to reset, and it's already done that in the US, and Canada was spared last go around. But personally, I don't think we're going to be spared this go around. There will be a reset, and yeah, please be safe, guys. And that's my rant for the day. And if you have any questions, please leave any feedback, and I'll produce a video on resistance and support levels shortly. But yeah, thanks for listening to my rant today, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Please be safe out there, and stock up on your food and water, and let's ride through wave 2 pandemic. We've already seen the human spirit. We are better united, we're stronger united, and the human spirit can overcome anything. We've overcome a lot of great historical moments together, so we will definitely overcome this. And every recession is an opportunity, right? So just be grateful for what you have, and yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Thank you for your time, and thank you for letting me do this. I'm glad to be able to share whatever knowledge I have. And I also hit 50 subscribers. Thank you again. It's very exciting. So hopefully we can continue to grow, and you'll learn more tidbits and tricks from me as we watch this eventual recession unfold. Be safe, guys. Thanks.